everybody, and welcome to Certainly Doomed Reviews Girls Night!
Woo woo!
Welcome.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, this is our first official Girls Night special, where it's just Corey and I.
Yeah.
I being Katie.
We have been having actual girls' nights for a couple months now. Basically, we watch a movie that we know the guys wouldn't like.
Sometimes you just need a good chick flick in your life.
Yeah, or it doesn't even necessarily need to be a chick flick. We also watched a couple of musicals.
That's true.
Yeah, because the guys don't like musicals.
Lame.
And then right? What do you mean you don't like singing and dancing in your movie? Anyway.
Those losers.
Yeah, they are just losers. Love them, but they're losers. And then we also do a craft while we're watching. This month's, depends on when we put this out.
This girls' night.
This girls' night, we are making blankets.
Yeah.
Basically, we got two kinds of fabrics that we really like. Mine is Scooby-Doo themed.
Mine is Beauty and the Beast. And
And
they're
then-
like fleece double-sided blankets, and
Yeah, so
they're really cute.
basically you just take those two sides of blankets and then you cut slits in them and tie them together.
Yeah.
It was kind of expensive, even though one of them was on sale.
Yeah.
It's like $30, which,
Wasn't
I mean,
too bad, but we'll get some use out of these. These are some big
they're-
blankets.
They're fucking
We
thick.
got 3 yards of fabric.
Yeah. And it's thick.
That's with like 6 C's at the end.
And like 7 T's at the beginning.
All right, for this episode, this girls' night, we watched Love Hard. It's on Netflix. It's an hour and 45 minutes. And it stars Nina Dobrev, Jimmy O. Yang, Darren Barnett, Harry Shum Jr., Michaela Hoover, Rebecca Staub, James Sido, probably mispronounced that, and Takeo Fisher. I probably butchered that too. My apologies. And this was absolutely a watch it.
Oh my god, it was such a watch it. I love it.
I was really expecting kind of like just a cheesy,
I was expecting it to be like,
not great,
yeah, kind of bad.
enjoyable, but not good.
Yeah. I was expecting it to be like every other movie, you know? Not another love story.
Yeah.
I get it, because that's the name of one of them. Get it?
Yo, but I thoroughly enjoyed this one.
I did too. I thought most of the actors in it were really, really good. Most of the characters were like people. Even the people who are barely on screen, you like a lot.
Yeah.
Also, I really thought the best friend was going to be in it so much more. But
I kind of wish she had been, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad she wasn't, because I feel like
Yeah.
she may have taken away from some of it.
I agree. We'll talk about that later, though, towards the end of this. But honestly, it was an amazing. It's got to be up there.
It was a damn.
It was a
good
damn
chick
good
flick.
one. Well,
And it took place during Christmas, which is kind of appropriate for.
yeah, but it wasn't Hallmarky,
Yeah.
which is nice.
It felt like, instead of being like a Hallmark movie where the epicenter of it is.
Katie, if you were in a Hallmark movie, what would
Listen.
you want your plotline to be?
Oh my god, we discussed this the other day because of my makeup.
Yeah.
I would be the boss bitch who never takes time off for herself till I have to go back to my small hometown and help my mother, who's a baker. And then I fall in love with the guy who delivers the produce to the bakery.
Yep.
And we used to hate one another. That's it. That's my story.
Yeah, that's your story. Oh my god, I was so excited. Whenever I was like, you look like you're in a Hallmark movie, and you were like, and you started to go into it, I was like, yes! She knew where I wanted this to go.
That's exactly what I wanted.
Yes! Okay, what would my story be?
Oh god.
Come on, you've seen enough Hallmark movies. I know you've seen enough Hallmark movies.
It's probably not as many as you think it is.
It's probably more than you think it is, because there are Hallmark movies that I didn't know were Hallmark movies.
I mean, they're all the same, so your story would be basically the same. You're a big-time artist who has to go back and save the local museum.
That first sponsored me.
And you fall in love with the curator at the museum.
Or something like that. Or
That's
the
it.
politician who's trying to shut it down.
The one who suppressed his artsy side. You bring it out in him.
Oh my god, they are all the same.
They
It's
really
just
are.
the same movie, different people.
Yes. Okay,
Normally the same people. Anyway.
Love Hard, it
does
was,
not fall into that.
it was
and it's
not a
great.
cheesy Hallmark movie. I was expecting it to be, and Christmas
Netflix version.
Yeah, Christmas was not the main focus of this. Like, yes, it took place around Christmas, and they talk about Christmas, but that wasn't the...
Christmas was more like it was happening at the same time, just happened to be the same
Yeah,
time.
I mean, because the story 100% could have taken place at any other time in the year, and it would
There's
have
a
been fine.
part of it that absolutely could not have.
Well, they could have framed it different.
Yes. It's more of like a convenience for it than it being necessary.
Yeah.
That's all.
I think we need to go into spoilers.
Yeah, I think we do need to go ahead and go into spoilers. Do you want me to go ahead and read the plot?
Yeah.
So, plot summary for Love Hard. Hopeless romantic but eternally single LA journalist, Natalie, thinks things are beginning to look up when she swipes right on a dreamy guy from the East Coast. Taking a leap of faith, she jumps on a flight to surprise her crush for the holidays, only to discover she's been catfished by the guy in the photo's childhood friend, who is equally unlucky in love as she is. His name is Josh. The guy that he was pretending to be, his name is Tag.
It's not a great name.
No, Tag is not a great name, but okay. This lighthearted romantic comedy chronicles her attempt to reel in love.
It's cute, and I think we forgot to say the episode title. Or our episode title.
Welcome to the episode of...
Catfished Hard.
Woo! Because you kind of really are.
So, we came up with some different prompts for our Girls' Night episode, because we don't need to have the same one with the guys not being here.
No, we don't.
And if we're gonna watch chick flicks and rom-coms, I feel like there are some standards.
Absolutely.
Well,
Before we get into the questions, I actually want to talk about the movie itself really quickly, because in this movie, basically you're following Natalie, and I just want to point out, she has known him for 2 weeks, and then she decides to fly
across the country.
to spend Christmas with them.
Yep.
And his family.
With no warning.
Nothing. In 2 weeks. Bruh. It took a month and a half before I met Kurt in person. And then, even then, I went to a place where my childhood friend worked. So that if he didn't show up, I could just eat pizza with her.
I mean, that's smart.
But also, like, who is flying across country after 2 weeks?
Well, that's all because he made the comment, I wish we could spend Christmas together.
I wish you were here.
And it's like...
And he makes a great point when she gets there and he's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, she's just like, you said you wish I was here. That's just something people say to each other. You know, like, you love somebody and you're like, I wish you were here, but you can't be here, and that's why you say that.
It's like, I'm aware that you cannot be here, so I'm gonna just tell you, I wish you were. Nope.
No, she took it literal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was so dumb. I was just like, when they have, like, this time-lapse scene that makes you understand, helps you understand that time has passed.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be months.
I was thinking, like, at least a month.
No,
And
2 weeks.
Yeah. Because at first I was like, oh, this is great. They're actually showing that time passed. Like, because normally these movies, they're just like, it's 2 days later. I'm madly in love with you.
It's love at first sight. It's always love at first sight.
Yeah.
And then she makes a comment about how she doesn't like Love Actually because she feels like it's just a movie where they fall in love with each other based off of their looks.
Yes.
Also her, you're not the guy that I thought you were. Set me up with the guy that I thought you were. Bruh.
Based on his looks.
Bruh. Yeah.
Yep.
Talk about fucking hypocrite.
Yes.
Oh man.
She's human at least. She has flaws.
And is allergic to kiwis.
That scene was fantastic.
They mention it like
It's
6 times, and then within the first like 20 minutes of the movie, she goes into anaphylactic shock because of it.
I literally was like, okay, they've mentioned this twice. She's gonna have an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
And then she did.
Yeah. And we meet her best friend in the beginning of it. best friend's great. I wish that she was in it just a little bit more. You know, like when she's freaking out and everything, I wish that she had that moment where she called her best friend again, like she did in the beginning. I don't feel like she should have come with her, because I do think that she would have detracted from it.
Yeah.
But
I feel like they forgot the best friend about halfway through the movie.
Exactly. I wish they would have brought her back again towards the ending, because they really did forget about her, and they were like, instead we're gonna bring back the boss. It's
like when she, at the end of the movie, when she's like writing her article and trying to decide what she's gonna do, I wish she would have called her friend and explained what's going on, and her best friend would, because she was the sassy best friend.
Oh, loved her.
That's one of our check marks for a good chick flick. But I wish she would have called the friend, and the friend would be like, what are you doing on the phone with me? You know what you need to fucking do.
Yeah.
And so then
kick her ass into gear.
Ding, like light bulb go off.
Exactly. I wholeheartedly agree.
Like that would have been a perfect way to just be like, oh yeah, we didn't forget you. You're still here.
Yeah, because like when this friend, she just keeps asking her like what to do for advice. She's like the advice friend. She's great. Love her. Then there's also the boss, and the boss is such a strange character. You really, really, really hate him at the beginning of it. And then you kind of sit on it more, and you're like,
he's not that bad.
Yeah, he's not that bad.
Could have been worse.
Yeah. Only a little bit, though.
Yeah. I don't think I would want him as my boss, but...
Absolutely not, no. Yeah. Seeing where he is talking to her and biking, and she's like, can you stop for a second? No, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to shoot you with a Nerf gun.
Right? Yeah. Maybe a BB or something.
Just something impactful.
They're in California. Can't have that.
True. Well, we brought in the California tie.
Absolutely. It takes place in California, and then she goes to New York. And...
Lake Placid, New York. Would you have an issue with?
I just think it's a funny name, and I'm like, that's such an interesting name to choose to have the location. But it is a real place.
It is a real place. I pulled it up on Google. I was like, here you go.
Yeah, I was like, Placid's such a strange name for something like that.
I showed you, and you're like, of course it's a real place.
Of course it is.
I just started cackling.
Pretty much, like, you get this sense at the beginning of the movie of, like, who her best friend is, and her as a person, her situation, and everything. And she goes on dates with these guys, and she keeps getting disappointed over and over and over
disaster
again.
Dates.
Yeah. That's her whole job, is writing articles about her disaster dates. Maybe don't base your entire job and livelihood off of you having a failed love life.
Yes.
Just,
I have nothing
like,
to add
if it
to that,
doesn't
yes.
fail, then what are you gonna do?
Sorry guys, can't write any more articles. I'm madly in love. I'm getting married.
Yeah, right? Just, what the... Ooh.
The only time it's gonna work out in your benefit is if you get a divorce.
That's true. Back at it again.
Surprise, motherfuckers, I'm back.
Yeah, for real. Then there's Josh, Jimmy's character. And he does a really fantastic job.
He does.
He is, like, on time with all the way everything is delivered is really done well.
And both the comedic aspects and then, like,
the serious points.
Yeah, like the rock climbing scene where he
kicks ass.
Yes, and he gets to the top of the fucking rock wall and is talking to Natalie and, like, has to calm her down, and he's just like, hey, it's okay, I got you, just listen to me, it's gonna be fine. And it's so, like,
at that moment we were both like, bruh, why aren't you falling for him now?
Yeah,
we're like, this is the moment.
Because the other asshat stayed down there on the ground.
Yeah, he was just like, okay, have a fun time up there.
You're taking your time. Nothing. Didn't even, like, wait
think
for a response. And nothing. Just, okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Men are stupid.
Women are stupid.
Everyone's stupid. That's pretty much...
Yeah. Our main character is kind of... She's both bland and not bland in very strange ways.
I was really worried at the beginning of the movie because I was like, great, her whole personality is gonna just be based on, I have to find true love.
I'm a hopeless romantic.
And, like, yes, it's kind of true, but at the same time...
It's an aspect Not a personality.
Yeah,
it's a trait, not your whole thing.
She, like, flat out was like, nah, fuck this job. I'm gonna do what I need to do because I think there's something here. And then it was like, oh, okay, so it's not just, like, purely, I'm gonna keep going on dates until I find the one. She straight up just found somebody and went for it.
Yeah, good on her. You pretty much go through the movie of her pretending to be somebody else to get Tag to fall in love with her. And Jimmy is helping Josh. His name in the movie is Josh. Josh is trying to help her get in with Tag, who's like this super sporty dude who bobsleds. Who the fuck bobsleds? Even up there, who the fuck bobsleds? Everybody just skis.
Yeah.
Yeah, ice skating, skiing. Weird. Normal people don't bobsled.
Yeah.
Pretty much he's like super outdoorsy, hunter kind of guy. She's a vegetarian.
Yeah. Well, and like...
he doesn't celebrate Christmas.
Which is weird.
It's not weird per se, but he's like, it's all just a big scam. It's all a marketing scam. He started
talking about it.
And he makes this, she's like, oh, Die Hard is my favorite Christmas movie. And he makes this face and you instantly feel it. And you're like, oh no. Oh no.
He gives her this, kind of look. And you're like, red flags. Big red flags.
He's also a fairly one-dimensional person.
Yeah, he's literally just there for looks.
Yeah.
And an outside goal.
Yeah, he's pretty much just, I'm a manly man.
He's the distraction, is all he is.
That is absolutely true. Josh tries really hard to get them set up together, and I felt like at the point of the rock climbing scene, it should have been like, man, it wasn't, I was just like, how do you not follow for that?
I think it kind of started to go, wait a minute, for Natalie after that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was fully like, he is the person he was being when we were talking over the phone. I don't think it was quite there, but I think she had a moment of, hang on.
Yeah. Kind of leaning into it. Although it doesn't really want you to feel that way about it until way later.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also the grandma is great.
Oh my god, yes.
I love his grandma so much in the movie.
Grandma, I don't want to say she was the best part.
She was also kind of the best part.
Yeah, some of the lines.
She's like, they're like, he doesn't have a ring. Here's my ring.
She's like,
I don't need to be buried in it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, grandma.
Or like at the end, she takes Natalie and, during the movie, she takes Natalie and Josh to a retirement home to help all these older people
learn how to do online dating.
Yeah, and so at the end of the movie, Grandma's like, oh, there you two are. Can you guys explain to me what a dick pic is? And you're like, Grandma, no.
Grandma, no. Oh, it's just the beginning-ish of the movie. She sits down to have breakfast with them. She's super uncomfortable, and you can tell. And she's like, so how did you guys meet? And they're like, oh, online dating, She's like, oh, I have a friend who's been doing online dating, and she's seen more ass than a church pew.
Church pew, that's what yeah. Grandma was great.
Grandma was great. She was great. And then there's Owen.
Who was not great.
Yeah, he kind of redeems himself at the end.
It's not a full redemption arc, but, like, he gets a moment where you're like, okay, he is trying to be a good brother. He's genuinely not great at it, but he tried. He
genuinely cares about his brother in the movie. He himself is just not a good person.
He cares about his brother, but he likes the limelight more.
I don't think he sees taking the limelight as putting his brother down, is what it is.
Yeah.
He's like, I deserve the limelight, and he's always had it, so he doesn't understand that it puts his sibling down. He doesn't want to share. Yeah, and he doesn't understand that it shoves him down below him when he does it, and you find out Josh makes candles.
Oh my god. Okay, so I didn't write it down in our, like, chick flick criteria, but I need it to make me feel just a little bit. I don't need to be, like, a full-on, like,
sob story.
Yeah, I don't need, like, a full-on romance movie like The Notebook where I'm gonna cry. But I need to get a little tug at my heartstrings. And when Dad smells the candle that smells like Grandpa,
He's like, it smells exactly like Grandpa.
I could feel, like, the stinging in my eyes of, like, the tears wanting to form. It wasn't quite enough to, like, push me to actual tears, but it was enough to make me go, oh. Like, I could just feel it.
They referenced it a couple of times before. That happens in the movie, but it was a really touching moment.
It was very cute.
It was very cute.
It was very subtle.
Yes.
Which was nice. Because I think if they had really, like, amplified that relationship more, I think that could have been a major...
I really thought, like, at the beginning of it, Natalie talks about how her mom had died that previous year. I really thought that was going to be, like, a very large part of it, and they didn't.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a part of her life, which I liked a lot.
Yeah, like, sometimes I think that can be too much, where it's like, oh, this is me, my mom died, and this is all you get is I'm a sad
You
mopey
get that
girl.
one dimension again.
But they kind of just, like, mention it, and, like, yes, that's part of who she is, but
And
it's not all of who she is.
Yeah. Or, like, they mentioned that, Josh's family had a divorce when he was young.
Yeah. Just little things that play into these characters, but they're
Also,
pieces of them, but not...
His stepmom gives mild Jennifer Coolidge vibes.
Yes.
So does the best friend. Like, if they were one person in the movie, Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, she would have... Yeah.
She would have been the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were both great.
Yeah, they were both great. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about before we move on? Who the fuck bobsleds? Just, like, I don't understand. I can't get over that.
The only other thing I can think of is, like, they talk about Love Actually a lot, and Natalie doesn't like the movie because it's based off of looks.
And she's a hypocrite.
I flat out said I was
She's
like,
a hypocrite, like, 6 or 7 times
yes.
in the movie, and I'm like, bruh.
I
she judges him. She judges
Josh.
E-Rock.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
She judges... Also,
Listen.
E-Rock is great. I love E-Rock.
He kind of deserved to be judged.
I love him, okay? But
He was
Mom,
great.
I love him.
But Daddy, I love him.
But E-Rock is this guy who's at the airport, who is manning the airport, and she's like, hey, my luggage is lost, and he's like, cool, go fill out that form and put it in the overnight thing.
The after hours?
Yeah,
door?
the after hours. And she's like, but you're working. Go put it in the after hours. But you're working.
That
Why
means
would I
it's
do
hours.
it? Yeah.
There were legitimately some funny moments in this. Like, and
There were.
And, like, some of them are, like, actual funny moments. Some of them are cringy funny moments. Like, we had to pause it at one point because we were like, oh my God.
Oh no. I could feel it coming.
It was painful.
It wasn't painful in a bad way. It was just painful, like, I need to prepare for this.
Like,
I know it's about to happen.
Soak it in.
Yeah.
Like, oof.
And then he, is also the only Uber, Lyft, and everything else in the town.
It's like, yeah, the economy's rough.
Yeah.
It's a small town.
Small town. Economy's rough. And then he gives her a, joint to give to Josh. And she's just like the judge emitting from her, and then she smokes it later to go bobsledding.
Yes.
Wow, what a hypocrite.
Oh my God. She's the villain. That's what I'm understanding now.
She is the villain.
Oh my goodness.
She's the hero, the villain, the everything.
And I still liked her.
Yeah. That's what made her a more realistic person. There were times where I felt like she did things that felt out of character in the movie that I felt made her a little bit more one-dimensional.
Yeah.
But they were brief and very far apart.
For the most part, she just felt like an actual person.
Most of the times where it felt one-dimensional were at the very beginning.
Sorry.
That's okay. But those were, all at the very beginning of it.
And
so
it was fairly brief.
yes.
It wasn't
exactly.
like...
So getting into our categories, or not our categories, our questions.
Our questions. So, should we just go down our list?
Yeah, we talked about, the first question was...
Are they a good couple?
Her and Josh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they mesh well together.
They do very well. The humor, they have something that I feel like is so important in relationships is being able to be childlike without it being childish.
Yes. They have fun.
Yes. They have fun and they let themselves be able to lose themselves in that way, but also be there for each other.
Yeah.
So important. So cute. Hence the rock climbing scene being like, girl, you're fucking dumb. You should have just been like, you know what, actually.
Yeah, if you don't want to watch this entire movie, literally just watch that scene.
Yeah.
Like, that's enough to go, okay, yeah, I get what they're talking about. Like, it... Okay, so the follow-up to that is, will Josh and Natalie last?
I think that they would. I do.
I think they understand each other in a lot of aspects, and I think one of them kind of talking about how we mentioned her losing her mom and him losing his grandpa, like...
Well, and his family have been broken up before, and
Yeah.
she was there to help bring his brother and him a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Also, his brother, girlfriend, wife? Do they say?
I'm assuming wife, and I'm just gonna kind of take it in like they went for like the American dream because they announced their pregnancy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna assume wife. Could
I'm
be
also gonna
totally
assume
wrong, but
She is a better person than the brother.
she had probably the least amount of screen time out of our main characters than anybody, but she literally had one line. She had a couple lines that made me really like, okay, she's a good person. But the one where she's just like, it's okay, Brother Bear, I was just like, we like her. We stan her.
Yeah,
She's
or like the
good.
part where she's just like, just leave them alone. They're happy. And you're like, look at you.
Yeah, she tried to I guess bring Owen down to reality. Or back to reality.
Yeah. That makes them a good couple too.
Yes.
Yes.
You need that balance.
Yes. What was the next question?
So our next question is, well, and this can apply to both of the male leads in this. Is he a great guy, or is he just hot? We can start with Tag if you want.
I don't like Tag.
Yes. He's fine, I guess. But
he's just too, like, oh, I like to hunt. Oh, I like to go hiking.
I feel like
fine.
I feel like they tried to make him this manly man, and then at the end they're like, plot twist, he's a hipster.
Plot twist, he's a hipster. I felt like by trying to make him a manly man, they kind of made him a hipster.
Yes.
Because they're like, rock climbing.
Yeah.
Like, who? Only hipsters.
And I feel like we talked about this during the movie. He's just kind of conventionally attractive.
Yes.
Like, he's a pretty guy.
Yeah.
But
he
wasn't...
and the main character and the main love interest, which I thought was nice. Not necessarily nice, but like I thought it was a interesting touch that they're both Asian American.
Yeah.
So that way, like when she's like, well, I'm attracted to him, and he's like, well, I'm also Asian American.
Yeah.
I think he says something like that in the movie where he's like, well, I'm also Asian American.
Yeah. Like, what's your big deal?
Yeah. I thought that was so funny. But yeah, I think he's just conventionally attractive.
He's a pretty boy.
That's pretty much it. He doesn't... I feel like personality makes so...
It makes a big difference on how attractive a person is.
I wholeheartedly agree.
And, like, yes, easy on the eyes, but I feel like if I were to go up to this man and have a conversation with him, I may as well go talk to a pile of rocks.
Yeah, he wasn't that interesting. And then the whole part where he was like, Christmas is a scam, bruh.
I couldn't have a conversation with somebody like that. I'm sorry. And I'm not even I'm not a religious person whatsoever, but for me, Christmas is the time that I spend with my family.
You don't have to celebrate it either. But to say to somebody where it obviously means a lot to them.
Exactly.
And be like, it's a scam, you're wasting your time.
I would smack somebody.
Right?
And think about, okay.
It's rude.
Holiday cheer is a legitimate thing. Like, people are so much happier during this time of the year because of the holiday season.
And more depressed.
This is true. There is seasonal depression. That is a thing. But
crime and suicide rates are higher at this time of year than they are any other time.
For the Christmas special, Corey. But what I'm saying is, like, it's like if somebody walked up to you and you're all decked out in your Halloween stuff and you're like, Halloween's stupid and all it is a money grab.
It's like if you were going on a date with your significant other, on Valentine's Day, and your coworker was like, "What are you doing for Valentine's Day?" "Oh, me and my significant other are gonna go to a nice restaurant." Why? Why are you celebrating? Why are you celebrating this day?
It's a Hallmark holiday.
Yeah, but it's a day dedicated to something that means something.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if everything surrounding it is a Hallmark holiday, if it's just to make money. If you are celebrating it for your family, for the happiness, for
yourself, if
for
it's
your
something
significant
that makes
other,
you
yeah,
feel happy, your partner shouldn't discourage that.
bruh. I love Halloween. Halloween is just to sell costumes and candy.
Yep.
I love that. You could make this argument about literally any holiday.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you like it, what does it matter? You're right. Like, it just...
Well, I mean, like, bringing back Valentine's Day, like...
If you are celebrating it with your partner because you love each other, it's more of a celebration of love than it is about whatever it is that they're saying.
Yeah. Well, and, like...
Doesn't matter.
Like I said, Valentine's Day. Tyler, not necessarily the biggest fan of Valentine's Day. It's a money grab to him, which is fine. But he knows that I enjoy it and celebrating it, and, like, growing up, it was a big deal because it was one way, like, my parents would spoil Sam and I a little bit. Candy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad, every year for Valentine's Day, got both my mom and I flowers.
Yeah. My dad is not a very affectionate person, especially when I was, like, young adult, preteen age, when I started to come into my own. But he still very much made a conscious effort. He, every single year, got me a box of chocolates. Every single year got me a card and got me and my mom flowers. And
it's just another way to show that you care.
Yeah.
And I feel like most holidays are that way.
And taking the time out to make something special is what it is.
For somebody who you know is going to appreciate it.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yep.
And that's why Tag's a douchebag.
Yes. But moving on to Josh, is he a great guy or is he just hot?
I think he's hot because he is a great guy. We said this in the movie. I was like, I don't think he's unattractive. And then Katie was like, no, and he's funny. I was like, I just like funny Asian guys. That's my type, I guess. Because that's what Kurt is.
Yes. But I mean, okay, so Josh, Jimmy O Yang, he's not a bad-looking guy. Is he my particular type? No. But the way that the character is portrayed, and he does a great job at it, makes me go, he would be a great partner.
Yes.
He just seems like all around a good person. And like I said,
I also feel like at least for a lot of people, emotional attraction will bring physical attraction.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly believe that.
All aspects of attraction are just as important as the rest.
Although I feel like when you have... I actually disagree. I feel like physical attraction, while I feel like it is very, very important, if you are very emotionally attracted to somebody, it'll bring the physical attraction to them. And it's not necessarily being like, I love my life, but I've loved my wife.
I love you too.
But I've been with her for 27 years and the spark's just not there anymore. I feel like you've lost that touch of love.
Yeah.
That portion of your love is lost. And I think that when people say, like, the honeymoon stage, you'll get over it, it's like, don't get over it.
It takes effort to keep a relationship that way.
Exactly.
Like, yes.
You're gonna lose interest in somebody that way no matter what because both of you are getting older. Keep it alive. It takes, like you said, a conscious effort, but it's not...
And people, I mean, I know there's a constant debate. Do people change or do they not change?
Both.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because I think back to, like, I'll bring up Tyler again. Tyler and I started dating almost 10 years ago. We are not the same people we were when we started dating.
I have that fear a lot with Kurt. Kurt and I started dating 3 years ago. Almost 4 years ago. When we were just at the tail end of high school. And I have...
Same.
Yeah. And I have so much fear that we're going to grow up to be... I mean, since we're technically growing together, I don't think it's going to be a problem, but I have
Yeah.
a big fear that we're going to grow up to be people who aren't compatible later.
It's hard because when you start dating at that age, and speaking from, I mean, like, my personal experience, Tyler and I also started dating, like, at the tail end of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we're not the same people almost 10 years later. I mean, we are, but we aren't. But
I would hope not.
it's hard because you are both growing as individuals, but you're growing together.
Yeah.
And one of you is going to mature more than the other, and then the other one's going to play catch up and surpass the original one.
Well, and you're going to mature in different ways.
Yes, and so it takes time and
Effort.
Like, yes, like we were saying, it takes effort to be able to maintain the relationship and keep it and make sure that it's still healthy. And you have to learn, because as you're changing, your partner is changing too, but you're changing in different ways.
I feel like the honeymoon stage of a relationship should be something that people try to actively keep up.
Yes.
And not in a, like, this is a little bit TMI, but, like, Kurt and I aren't crazy intimate all the time. It's not, like, a constant thing. Like, even during, technically, honeymoon phase would, I guess, still be going on. I feel like it still goes on.
I feel like the honeymoon stage isn't, like, a consistent thing.
And I feel like it shouldn't be. I feel like
it comes in spurts, which is fine.
And
as long as you're still having it.
Yeah. I feel like it should be something that is integrated into your relationship and not something that is, like, it happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
Or it's just the beginning of it. I feel like the honeymoon phase is something that we use to describe the beginning of a relationship where it's just everything that's good. And I feel like we lose that luster on things where it's like, maybe, like, a great example in rom-coms and chick flicks, they always have that moment where they look at the other person and you can just feel this on the screen that it's supposed to be like a love and longing.
Yeah. They have that sappy, I want you look. And it's not necessarily in a sexual way, but just like, I need you to be a part of my life. I could be in this
moment forever. Yeah. And people lose that.
Yes.
And you shouldn't.
Yep.
There are times where, like, Kurt and I will just be driving, and, you know, he's singing to The Offspring or something, and they're like, what's up, fuck you up. And I'm just looking at him, I'm just like,
I want to do this forever.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just want to do that forever.
Yep.
People let that just fizzle out, and it's so sad, and you shouldn't. And I feel like them as a couple will not. I also feel like that's part of what makes him more attractive, is because he would be a good partner. And I feel like he has that quality in him to keep something like that up.
Yeah, he would do great.
Yeah. I also don't think that he's not an attractive guy. Like, in the movie, they're like, look at me, I'm not attractive. And it's like, you have a big forehead, but that's really, like... He doesn't even have that big of a forehead. It's just the haircut makes his forehead look bigger.
The haircut with the combination of the glasses.
Yeah.
It's like...
When he takes off his glasses, it makes his forehead look a little bit smaller. But I think if he had the glasses and a different haircut, he would be fine.
It's like the classic chick flicks where they take the nerdy girl and make her hot. Because they put glasses on her and give her a weird hairstyle that's not, you know, conventionally attractive.
Yeah.
So, but they basically did the same thing with him. They made him the nerdy guy.
Except he always looks like that. That's...
Yes.
Literally...
There's no wardrobe change. There's no big reveal. No makeover.
Well, also, that's just how he looks like in real life.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's unattractive. I just think that the haircut that he has with the combination of the glasses is just not it for him.
It's not flattering.
Yeah. It's not unflattering. It's just not doing him favors.
Okay, so my next question.
I don't know
if we really kept track of it. How many chick flick cliches were there?
What are chick flick cliches?
Okay, so our cliches, our list we made was, there's a meet cute, there's a sassy best friend, there's a montage to some kind of music, there's some kind of tragedy / heartbreak / devastation, there's a grand gesture, and a sunset moment, like riding off into the sunset. And I put check marks next to 4 of them.
They didn't have a montage, did they?
No, and there was not a meet cute.
Yeah, the meet cute, I guess you could say kind of yes, because it was forced.
Well, I mean, they technically met through the dating app.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I would...
Consider that.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, I bumped into him at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
So I don't think...
To be fair, some classics like 13 Going on 30 doesn't have a meet cute.
This is true. I would say as long as we have, like, half of this list.
Majority.
Yeah.
I could say majority.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would agree. There's the sassy best friend.
Yes.
You also get the grandma in that.
Yes.
And the boss.
Grandma reminded me of the grandma from Mulan and from Moana.
Yes, and the grandma from Pocahontas.
Yes.
The
Grandmother
tree
Willow.
lady. Yes.
Yes.
And she's like, go get it, hun. And you're like, Grandma Willow.
Grandma, no. Grandma, yes. And then, like you said, there wasn't really a montage to music, but
It had fire music.
yes, I did write
The
down
music
that the
moments are
was,
great.
The soundtrack was awesome.
I feel like a good rom-com,
Should have a good soundtrack.
absolutely.
Like-
It needs to have that music to go with
And
everything.
it doesn't even need, like, a ton of good music. As long as
It
you
doesn't
really
even
have
need-
one. Like, 13 Going on 30, you had Thriller. 27 Dresses, you've got them in the bar singing Benny and the Jets.
Yep.
So, I think as
It's
long
just
as
that
you
one
have...
recognizable moment
Yeah.
that is definitive.
Yeah, and there were a
A
couple
couple.
in this one.
Yeah, it was
So,
great.
While it did not hit montage moment, good soundtrack.
Amazing soundtrack, yeah.
Some kind of tragedy / heartbreak / devastation. Mom is dead. Grandpa's dead. Then they have the falling out.
So I think the only real one that can count for the movie is the falling out.
Yeah. It's
They-
the only one that actually plays out on screen.
Yeah, the catfish moment. And then also when she admits to everything and then
Yeah.
hearts are broken.
Yeah, and it's at the fucking engagement party. The surprise engagement party.
Yeah. Well, and there's a minor one right before that where they're fighting about her faking the person that she is so that
After being mad at him.
yeah, she's faking. He points out that she is doing the same thing in the opposite way. And he's like, it's kind of worse. And she's like, don't even with me about that.
Yeah, and he gets, like, depressy.
I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, he was like, you know, you're kind of pretending to be completely the person that you're not to impress this guy. And he's like, at least I was me. At
Yeah.
least the person that you came here to see is still me. Just doesn't look like me.
Yeah.
And then she's like, don't even with me. You're
Yeah.
the whole reason I'm in this mess.
That
Bitch,
was like,
you being a hypocrite.
yes.
But I would say that's a minor falling out moment.
Yeah. And then we have our grand gesture, which was her Love Actually
Moment.
him,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
which was super cute, and especially when the family came out on the porch and Grandma yells at him to go kiss her.
It was so cute.
It was very cute.
It was very cute.
And then we have our ride off into the sunset moment, which was her being there for Christmas,
Yes.
which was very cute.
It was very cute.
It
The
was-
very ending, and that's when Grandma asked about dick pics.
Them being together at the end was just a nice little bow on the present. A
Absolutely.
nice little ending touch. It was very cute.
It was super cute. Loved it.
So that leads me to our final question.
Mhm.
Would this work in 2004? The peak year of chick flicks.
So here's the biggest problem. Online dating.
This is true. But we
I think the whole rest of the story, absolutely yes.
I think it could be transposed to work.
Yes.
Because it hits a lot of the marks.
If you if you all don't know, 2004 is the peak for rom-com. Rom-com chick flicks.
Yes.
That is the peak year.
Let me list some of the 2004 rom-coms or chick flicks. 13 Going on 30.
Mean Girls.
Yeah, The Notebook, Mean Girls, A Cinderella Story, 50 First Dates, The Prince and Me, The Girl Next Door, Sleepover, Along Came Polly, Raise Your
Princess
Voice,
Diaries 2.
Ella Enchanted. Yes. So you guys get the point that, like, 2004 was it for
Yeah, it was a great year.
chick flicks.
There's a year in the 90s that was also really good, but come
Yeah.
on, you can't outdo Mean Girls and 13 Going on 30 in the same year.
Yep.
And The Notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Notebook is classic.
They're all classics.
This is true. This is true.
But
I'm a sucker for The Notebook, though.
yeah.
Basically anything Nicholas Sparks. I don't know if you've read any of his books, but...
Have you seen Safe Haven?
Yes.
I love that movie.
The book is like...
Okay. I'll have to read it.
Okay, I'm a big book nerd. Like, this has been established, but... sometimes, yes, the book is genuinely better than the movie. It's not every instance, but I will say Nicholas Sparks' books... There's something that gets left out when it comes to the movies.
I can get that.
And
I understand.
As great as the movies are, because I freaking love the Notebook movie. Like, so good. But the book, we're going to word this like Kurt, slaps harder. It's great. So, I'll quit my be a book reader and not a movie snob. Highly recommend.
Yeah. And also... I'm gonna give a quick shout out. If y'all don't know who my twin is, go look up Soccer Mommy. She has a song called Rom-Com 2004. It perfectly encaptures somehow in a 4-minute song what rom-coms in 2004 were.
Perfect.
Like the whole essence of it. Also, she looks exactly like me 90% of the time. There's one angle where when some people take pictures of her, I'm like, that looks literally nothing like me. Everything else.
Does.
And she's obsessed with vampires. I will never not bring it up.
I know.
But she's actually a really great artist. Highly recommend go listening to her, especially that song for this circumstance because we're talking about rom-coms in 2004.
Yep.
But yes, absolutely you could. If you took out the online dating aspect, maybe if it was
could totally be transformed. Or
oh, you know what? Actually, online dating was kind of
around. As long as it's on
it was more
your thick ass Mac computer.
Yeah, and you had chat areas, or it was
AOL.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
AOL chat rooms.
Think A Cinderella Story.
Yeah.
Sam and Chad Michael Murray's character texted, and they didn't know who one another was.
Yep.
And I think it started on AOL.
It does.
Yeah. So, could work.
Yeah, there we go. That's what it is.
All right, y'all. Yeah, definitely, you need to go watch Love Hard. It's very cute.
I love Jimmy O Yang.
Yeah, you got his name right. Oh, ladies, you will enjoy this for a girls' night, or if you're watching a movie by yourself, and men, go watch it with your ladies.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it too. It's cute.
You'll love Jimmy. He's so funny. It has some great moments in it. Also, one more thing about Tag. He doesn't have a sense of humor.
None.
She makes a joke about cousins in Alabama, and he's just kind of like...
They're just words to him. They mean nothing.
Yeah, Josh and Natalie are both laughing, because it's a funny fucking joke.
Yes.
It was a good one, and he's just like, I don't know what you guys are laughing about.
That's it. This movie, yes, there's some romance. There is some great comedy. Both actual funny things and cringy funny things. And there's a little bit of heart to it. So,
yeah.
I would say it's a pretty well-rounded movie.
I wholeheartedly agree. Go watch it.
Yep. All right. This is Katie.
And this is Corey.
And we're signing off for Girls' Night.
Bye!
Bye, everybody.